YouTube, what is up? So, Pickems. I'm going to do two different Pickems. I'm going to do a VLR Pickem. I'm going to do a in-game Pickem. The in-game will be my main one. And the only reason I'm doing that is because the competition is on. The competition, it's still possible to get top 8. I know it's unlikely. 6,000 people. And there's 40 ahead of me, only by 10 points. But it is doable if I go a little bit mad. This is what I had in my head. I think you have to go bold in terms of prediction. So RRQ winning it all is like not out of the realms of possibility, but it's very bold. Obviously everything would have to go completely right, but I'm guessing the 40 above me wouldn't have the same Pickems here. So I'm not sure many people would have RRQ winning. So this is kind of what I've gone through. Let me quickly explain it. Again, I'll do a more in-depth one in-game. Gili against Sentinels. I think Gili actually have a really good chance of winning this, but I just think because they lost a player, that's pretty much why I'm putting Sentinels ahead of them here. G2 against Paper Rex. I think that G2 is going to have a pretty good run, especially at the beginning, because they should be able to save a lot of stuff, and they should be able to just have such well thought through stuff that they should be winning games. Same with RRQ, that's kind of why I got them going here. I think that they've had so much time that, again, the teams that kind of came first seed should be winning these games, in my opinion. I'm tempted to change Gili just because I think that most people would have Sentinels going through. I think we got to do that. Let's change this a little bit. I think if, again, VLR, I'm doing it a little differently, just because I'm just seeing if I can get into the top 8 of the contest. So, and then we'd have Paperx against Sentinels, and Sentinels would go last. Sure. Okay, I think I'm okay with this. Where does Gili go? They didn't lose to Fnatic. Gen G would win here. RRQ would win this. D2 RRQ. Sure, this is my VLR. Again, just taking big risks so I can potentially win the top 8. It's just a long shot. My actual Pickems and how I'm actually feeling. Let's talk about that. Let's go into in-game. Where are we in this? We're doing all right. We're 95 points. This is what I'm trying to kind of keep as my main thing. Achilles is here. We're somehow doing the same as him, apparently, even though he hasn't got a single game right. Obviously, I got MIBR wrong, but I don't think many people had Wolves, so I didn't lose too much from that. Then I am completely lost. Where on earth did you go? Okay, here we go. So let's do this properly. G2 against Paper X. I think that, again, G2 is going to have so much good stuff, well thought out stuff on multiple maps, that they're going to be having first probably 2 games is going to be a win, just purely from showing new maps, well thought out stuff, and other teams struggling to adapt, and there being no demos on it. So I think no matter what happens, I think they should be winning the first 2 games. And I do think the Sentinels will beat Gili against, because I think that Gili have the stand-in. So that's what I'm actually going for here. Regional matchup. And I do think G2 would be winning it. So that's where I'm at on this one. If Sentinels win this would be huge for them. But again, I think, honestly, beating Gili with that amount of time would probably be huge as well. But again, Gili is such an unknown. They used an okay amount of Teo. It wasn't like a crazy amount. But the main thing that they lost is YOU, who's like their breach player. And I think that he was so good at setting Raga up that that's pretty much why I don't know, I think they lose a lot when they lose him. So we'll see if that's true. Then we got RRQ against Wolves. I actually think RRQ are going to do really good. So I'm going to back them on this one. Wolves, love how they play certain maps. Don't like how they play Lotus. I think RRQ will be picking Lotus on this one. I think they're going to be 1-0 up. I think if you watch the demos, you would pick Lotus against Wolves, and you'd feel very confident against it. I do like how they play a lot of the other maps, though, especially Split. That Split looks pretty hard to play against, so Wolves might try and pick something like that. Might go to a third map this one, to be honest. Really like how they've been playing. Then we got Fnatic Gen G, and dude, I don't actually know where this one's gonna go. Let's think about the map pool a little bit. Fnatic would probably try and pick Icebox. I imagine they change out their Teo for a Sova. I imagine Gen.G ban Icebox because they play 7 maps from what I can tell. And I'm pretty sure against MIBR they banned Icebox. Then Fnatic, they have a chance for a curveball. And the curveball that they... The curveball... Dude, I can't speak today. Curveball that they could do would be to pick Pearl and try and anti the Deadlock Viper stuff that we've seen. Because I think once that has a demo out there, it should be pretty good. Gen.G ban Icebox, pick Haven. Fnatic. Do you know what? Let's back him. Let's back him. Again, I think that most of these teams... It's a little bold. It's a little bold. But if I'm going to be picking RRQ anyway... Yeah, okay, let me explain it from Fnatic. I think that Haven's an okay map for them. I think they have a curveball, and I think they will ban Pearl. And they will pick... No, yeah, I reckon they will like pick a Sunset or something, and the anti should be good. I feel like I'm trying to convince myself by saying this. Sure, let's go for it. I think a lot of people, after seeing how good Gen.G played, will pick Gen.G. Should I go for G? Now I'm looking at Gili Sentinels. I really should have planned this out a little bit better before I hit the record button. Should I just go for all of the teams that had more time? Have honestly done really good without a couple of them. Gili against Sentinels. If I did that, what does it look like? No, let's back Sentinels. Sentinels are the Chinese destroyers at the moment. They're just looking good against the Chinese teams. And then PaperX would then play Gili, and I think they would win, getting 5th to 6th. Again, I think is what they should be doing. Gen.G should be winning for a lower bracket. Gen.G would beat Sentinels. RRQ against Fnatic. I still have a lot of RRQ belief. I think this is like the main thing that's going to separate me from the other Pickems. I think that RRQ will beat Gen.G or Fnatic, whoever they face. So the main thing is I need Gen.G to lose just for this lower bracket run, if it's going to go like that. This is actually turning out insanely similar to my VLR that I said was a little bit risky, but let's see. Fnatic more time. Haven. What did I say the maps were for Fnatic Gen.G again? Haven. Haven will be picked. Fnatic have a curveball. If Fnatic picks Split, it's not much of a curveball. It's Sunset. The problem with Fnatic is they might lose Haven, and they hate, or historically they haven't been good at Pearl and Sunset. Sure, let's stick with Fnatic on this. Let's back them. Because again, I think most people go Gen.G. We'll back Fnatic, we'll back RRQ until they get to G2. I do think G2 is winning this event. I just think, again, the extra time from everyone and how much good stuff they should have on certain maps, I think finally it should be their event. Will Fnatic beat PaperX? Probably. Again, I think the train getting 5th to 6th is like, that's a good stop. Again, I wouldn't even call that a crash. I think that is a nice, solid park, putting yourself in a good position to go to champs. So that's where I would be putting that. And then Fnatic against Gen.G. Rematch. After demos of Fnatic, Gen.G would win. Then Gen.G against RRQ. That's an interesting one. What do I actually think goes down with Gen.G, RRQ? Lower bracket. Like this, maybe? With RRQ coming third? I think this isn't too bad. I think Gen.G looked too good to not get to the finals. That's the thing. And I didn't think a team in groups would get to the finals. Because I felt like the head start that all the teams that came first in their region got by skipping groups is incredible. So What am my only thing that I'm not like really convinced with is Fnatic Genji and Zhilai against Sentinels. So I think Zhilai could do it. But I'm just a YOU believer and that they lost a lot. I will say Zhilai played like the more methodical Valorant in China, and I think that might aid Sentinels a little bit. It's kind of like more structured, like NA or EMEA. I'm okay with this. I think I'm okay with this. G2 winning from the top. It never goes down like this. There's normally some kind of upset. But I think that if there's an event for G2 to finally do it, it's this one. The most time out of any team, new meta, Anders pretty much, at least from what we've seen on some maps, Lotus for sure, Abyss to an extent, pretty good at coming up with new stuff on maps. Trent still pretty good on Sova, and they can heavy lean into that. And I think they're going to lean into the Chamber, and I think Leaf on Chamber and LAN is just a beast. I think this is where I'm at. Who's my up? I tell you what, the actual upset winners for me are, I do think ROQ can win this, and I think lots of people think they can't at the moment. I would love Zhilai to come out swinging, but I've got to back Sentinels on this one. Okay, I'm locking it in. Wait, dude, how do I lock this in? Is this just locked in? 14 out of 14 Pickems made. Okay, we done it. All right, let me know in... Honestly, let me know in chat. I want to know, Fnatic Genji, who do people have for this? I've just gone with the time. I just think the time aspect is a little better. And I think Fnatic can win Haven, which I imagine is going to be Genji's pick. And there's a lot of demos out there. I'm just... I'm pretty much backing Boaster. I'm pretty much just backing Boaster of time diff, anti-strat diff. Okay, let me know in the comments, Fnatic or Genji, are you happy with the train getting here? I'm telling you, if HyperX managed to get some points, like champ points out of this, they put themselves in a really good position for champs. So, personally, as the conductor of the train, if you offered this to PaperX when they were playing, what was it, DFM back then, they would have taken it. So, I think this is a good parking spot. Okay, let me know in the comments. And who out of these is going to beat me? Achilles is going to beat me, isn't he? Tarek? Tarek's here? I can't lose to Tarek. Okay. Right, thank you so much. Subscribe, like. Sorry that I rambled for so long. All right, peace.